a guy on who has John Hay Cigars in Intercourse, PA. And I'm sitting there, and the guy's name is David something or other, and I'm like, John Hayes, why do I fucking know that name? And then I looked up, I'm like, Intercourse, PA. I'm like, I know Intercourse. Well, not a lot.
Yeah. I've heard good things, but
tweak.
But yeah.
I don't know it enough.
Show anyway, so
I know more about Blue Ball than I do about Intercourse, which always leaves me with Bird in Hand. Those are the three cities around in the same area.
Jessica cold? She's wearing a hoodie. I'm sweating just looking at her.
Have our AC is always.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Is low.
Yeah.
It has.
I wish it was.
I died. Right, it wasn't.
It's hot in here.
So John Hayes Cigars, when I recognize the name, it was in an article that was sent to me, and it was done by the Historical Society of my hometown about the cigar industry in central Pennsylvania and all these brands that used to be booming in that area and how many people they employed and how many factories they had. And John Hayes Cigars is one of the only cigars. The guy in Intercourse bought the name of the cigar, and they still make the cigar with like the old style boxes and cigar bands and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. And Des keeps calling him John. I'm like, his name's Dave.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's all right.
So that was.
So how's things going?
Busy.
Yeah.
I'm ready to fall asleep.
Yeah. Yes. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not one thing, it's another, then another, then another, then another.
That's the way it goes, especially when you're moving, buying a house, everything
family,
yeah,
everything. The appraisal should have been this morning.
Yeah, appraisal this morning. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Hopefully it all goes well.
Yeah, we'll see.
I like my shirt. I'm wearing
very nice.
I'm wearing my shirt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The other one,
I need one.
My athletic build left me a long time ago. So
Which one is the one that's the shirt with like it's partial?
Yeah, I love the shirt and I love the back of it.
Like the gray stripe.
Which one? No, that's the full button up.
No, that's not. He was talking about the.
Oh,
I'm talking about the
one.
Yeah, the two-tone one.
Yeah, with the king and just whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that one
with the card on the back.
It's it's black with gray, and then it's got the big playing card on the back.
Yeah,
I love it, but it's double XL, and the cut on it is almost like athletic.
You can tell it comes in quite a bit.
If Dickies is used predominantly with mechanics, it must be a European mechanic company or European cut. This is for guys who work on BMWs. It just, I put it on. It was just like the shoulders were tight, like really tight, and then of course this area here.
Well, generally, like at our shop, like I said, when you have a mechanic that's bigger like you, we always order them the longs because on the longs you get, I think on anything over 2x and above, you get 1 1/4 inches on the width and 1 1/2 inches on the length. You know, so if they want to tuck it in, they can still tuck it in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so anything over 1x, or an extra large, so 2x and above, yeah, you have to order the longs.
I thought you kicked her out.
No, I kicked Stella out.
Okay.
So,
that's nice.
But yeah, so I dig them. Is that the one with the pocket in the sleeve? That
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
We
won't fit your phone though. Fits like a pen.
We never use that. They put those in there. We never use those.
Is that for like a tire?
We don't know. We don't know what it's for. It's just an extra. It's an extra
cigar
for Lancero.
No, your pen goes in your front pocket. That's why there's a pocket pen. You notice your front pocket's divided. It has a pocket. There should be an extra spot in your left front pocket for your pen.
This is like a chef design.
Yeah.
The thermometer would go here.
Yeah.
So no, the thermometer goes here and then here.
Yeah.
I love the shirt. It fits great. I just don't. Again, it was like if I was probably in my 20s or 30s, the other one would fit fine too. but I definitely got to go with the longs because
Yeah.
when I mean, even if I lose 20, 30 pounds, it's just up here is just always too much. But I always try. I used to have to get big, go to Big and Tall and get big, but then it's like I got freaking so much material in here. It's ridiculous.
That's my dad was the same way. His shoulders were gigantic, so whatever fit his shoulders like hung straight down, and it was never a good fit.
Yeah. I mean, I always wear a 50 jacket, and it's like it doesn't matter if I'm 210 or 280.
Yeah.
It's always the same.
Yeah, because no matter how much weight you get, you're not going to lose a lot of because your shoulder width is your bones, so you're always going to have that. But Jen, I didn't order any. Jessica didn't even get one. I didn't order any lady sizes because those shirts are expensive. I mean, obviously, like order like Guayaberas.
There's no excuse.
Yeah, Jessica didn't even get one.
I didn't ask for one.
She has a birthday coming up.
Jen is asking for one.
Jessica has a birthday coming up.
Ask it ain't getting.
Yeah.
We're
Saturday. We're gonna go have some drinks and dinner with my friend Shani and her husband Mike in Sarasota. Just something low key, apparently.
Nice.
Shani.
I still have to mail your birthday box. It will get there.
Kevin told my friend Shani that I guess they were talking about restaurants and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, let's do the barbecue." Jessica loves barbecue, which I do like barbecue, but it's not my favorite. And he goes. He tries to convince my friend who knows me probably better than Kevin, like that like that barbecue is my favorite.
I really wanted barbecue.
so
I was hoping they wouldn't talk.
Right. So she called me and was like, she's like, are you excited to do something for your birthday? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. I said, why'd you guys pick barbecue? And she goes, I fucking knew Kevin decided for you. She's like, I kept thinking, when the fuck did Jess ever say barbecue is her favorite? And there's a pizza place right near there. And I was like, I would rather have some beers and
so pizza. You'll go over and get pizza and Kevin's going to be at the barbecue
eating barbecue by himself. Happen. But I was like,
that's what his plan is.
It's my birthday. Why would you choose that? So yeah, so that's my birthday is that we get to eat barbecue because Kevin really wanted it.
You know what you should do is call your friend and be like, listen, when we come over, let's just go to a tapas place.
Yeah. Well, we're going to a hipster bar to begin with.
Well, she chose that.
Yeah, she chose
what
that.
What makes a hipster bar?
It's just weird stuff. Even Shani goes, we can't spend a lot of time there. It looks pretty hipsterish. And I'm like,
that's not what she said. She said that it gets busy. So we have to go early. And
no.
It has interesting different drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's hipster or
you can get a cocktail and a shoe, I think.
I would just like to go spend some quality time and have fun. I really don't care really where it is. But Kevin will make it an issue and make comments, and we probably won't stay long.
Well, if it's a hipster bar,
and then we'll go have some
fun,
to. And then we'll go and have some barbecue. My favorite.
That sounds like a great night.
It'll be her best birthday ever.
It sounds like a great
It'll be your best birthday ever. Well,
that's what they call Kramer a hipster doofus.
Yeah, you did ruin my birthday because you were in the hospital like a jerk. So we should be.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerr.
Yeah, we should be sharing this one.
So the truth comes out.
It's Broadleaf Bullies.
Sorry, my stomach.
We should. I guess we should.
That was perfect.
We should start off.
Sorry, I reached over to move this freaking cord, and my thumb hit that.
I'm Bully Kevin.
I'm Bully Jess.
I'm Bully Kerr.
I'm Bully Jen.
And we are
the Broadleaf
Bullies.
We talk. You listen. We are the Broadleaf Bullies. And here's your hosts, Kev, Kerr, Jessie, and Jen.
So how old are you going to be in 48 hours?
44.
Yeah, we're the same age for a few months.
Nice.
Bulla bulla.
Yay.
Yay.
For a few months. Yeah, I need my birthday would be awesome if I had a whole day with like no one in the house. Like I haven't had any
Barbecue?
alone day in I can't even
You had
remember.
5 whole days when you were in the hospital by yourself.
5.
Good, fair
I was
point.
there longer than 5, but anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Not only that, you had people waiting on you hand and foot.
I know.
no, I did not. That did not happen. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And I'm sure Shani and Kevin are just gonna argue the whole time. So
That's
yeah,
what we do.
that's like best birthday ever.
Over barbecue, your favorite meal.
Yeah.
Over everything, over anything.
No, I'm saying you guys, he's going to be
you need to
arguing
tape
over
it.
the meal.
When
of
I
barbecue.
turned 40, we went to this Irish restaurant called the Celtic Ray and met like Shani and Mike and my brother and his girlfriend and stuff. And she got really drunk and she was letting Kevin have it. She kept calling him a PO, like a piece of shit. She was like, "You're a piece of shit." And people are looking at us, and I was like, "I think you had enough to drink.
Yeah.
Time to go."
and it's a place. It is our love. It is a love relationship with me and Shani, but we love to also hate on each other too. And
Yeah.
it's
I
one
don't
of
know
them.
if Jess agrees with you though.
Yeah.
She looks like that. Yeah, I mean, someone calling me a piece of shit. That's kind of
No,
It wasn't a mean piece of
Well,
shit.
I mean,
no.
Kevin says some. I mean,
She only said it when she was drunk.
Have you
Yeah.
met Kevin?
Yeah, I was probably being a piece of shit that night. And in Shani's defense, you know.
I mean, some of the stuff he says, it comes off because his
Yeah.
tone.
I haven't noticed it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. I'm glad
It's
that
not,
you
it's the
haven't.
tone and
But
then
she
Whoa,
did.
look at Jeff gets all mad at me.
it's the tone and then the meaning behind it.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Like, give me an example.
because I mean it. So
What are you guys smoking tonight?
Go ahead.
I am
Fanboy.
smoking a Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust Sober Mesa. What size am I got here? I don't even have a size here. Huh, I'll be damned.
Here you.
Oh no, yeah, my favorite El Americano 6x50. Son of a bitch. That's my last one. El Americano. It's my favorite size, and I didn't even get it like multiple pictures and.
You have to
They
call him
make
and ask him
more.
for some more.
Yeah,
They make more.
I know, but they're expensive. I smoke this most expensive like size. I don't ask for free cigars. Steve would probably send them to me. I probably should.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, I'm
It's a
gonna
little-
ask. I'm
Steve
gonna
has
ask.
to buy his own
The fuck
cigars.
is up with my
to smoke
inside
through
jokes
you.
tonight? Everybody's just
Yeah.
like take them literal.
Yeah, I
We'll
probably
have to
should.
get some for your birthday, Kevin.
I mean, I have made a hint every now and then, like this is my last one, you know, and then he hasn't sent me any, but he has sent me a lot of other stuff.
He's like, man, that sucks. Doesn't there a place by you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's this website.
These are like $350 a box.
wow. Yeesh.
They're
Good
worth
cigars.
it though. They're
Box
really
of
good
20?
cigars.
Yeah, good cigars.
Yeah, I don't know if
20,
Steve is.
25.
Yeah, either 20 or 21. I can't remember what Steve does. Yeah, I don't know.
What are you smoking, Jess?
The Romeo 505. Okay.
Never heard of it. What is it? Who makes it? What is it?
Romeo.
Yeah. Romeo
Oh.
and Juliet.
Is it
Oh.
Romeo?
Julieta.
Is it? Okay, Romeo and yeah, they have the
Juliet.
Julieta.
Yeah,
Julieta.
they came out with the orange and the black, and oh hey, with your box that I can't remember when we got those vintage cigars in. Did you get any of the CAO, the concerts in
No.
that package? Of
No,
cigars?
you got
No, we
that.
sent that
You just
bef-
recently got that.
We
Yeah.
Oh.
sent that package before we got
Yeah.
those.
Okay, I
CAOs.
couldn't remember. So
Yeah.
So we have
That's-
we have some to send him.
That
Yes.
cigar is the reason why Ron Brown changed his cigars to RTB cigars because his original name was Concerto.
Mm-hmm.
oh really?
Oh, interesting.
Well, they don't make it anymore. I mean, what are
I
they?
know. They
you
still
know,
own the name.
and it's been 13.
They might.
It's-
2010.
Huh?
Yeah, you know, if you know, like, but it was if they stopped using it, he could have filed for trademark
I'd like to-
abandonment.
I would like to find the
You know.
other two. There was 3 in the series.
Oh yeah,
So
Yeah, because Ron was doing the same thing. Very
Yeah.
similar. 3 in the same series. He had
Yeah.
his Connecticut, which was
Crescendo.
the crescendo. No, that wasn't the crescendo. I can't remember
I
how
don't
he names
remember
them
the name.
anymore, but
yeah. Your Connecticut would never be a crescendo. That would be
no,
yeah.
I can't remember what it is anymore.
I can't remember either.
It's
There's 3
No.
musical names.
the
So
aria.
He had to
It's the
change them
Aria.
all.
Yeah.
No, he kept the names like the Aria, and I think one's a
Oh.
Concerto, and then one is something else. But he kept those names like the cigars, but his brand he had to change to RTB.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. He probably could have fought it, for trademark abandonment. If they
But maybe
if they
they'll
haven't
bring it
used
back. You never know.
Well, it doesn't make a difference if they're planning on bringing it back if they've abandoned the name and haven't used it.
Okay,
It's up for
Sheldon.
grabs. So that was the whole Aganorsa when the with the Mombacho lawsuit that just finally went through, and they proved that they sold one box.
Yeah, I
in
remember
like,
that.
in like the year. It was like
Yeah.
one box of 20 in an entire year. It was something like that. And then
Is it worse to go through any kind of legal proceedings?
Well, I think it's like for Ron. I mean, especially
Yeah.
starting off, it's just easier to just change it to RTB.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Or like me with Viajante Stogie Road,
Yeah.
Viaje, I could have sat down and got a lawyer and fought it out and been like, Viajante's not near it.
But did you or Ron want to start your careers,
Off the bat,
way?
No,
on
I wasn't.
that
No.
hill?
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're starting
This
off
is the
already.
hill I'm dying
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
already starting off with, spending money that you would be putting into your cigars into a lawyer for a name,
No, not worth it.
so no, not even.
I mean,
all.
at some point, if you really think about it, I'm sure every name has been used at some form, some way, in some type of.
Silent Green never has been.
Yeah.
No. But I'm saying, but in
I know.
but for something else. But I'm saying, like, even if it's not cigars, it could have been for sodas, clothing. I mean, there's always been a name used.
Across platforms.
Right.
Yeah, it's like Guy Fieri's like the knuckle sandwich, the cigar.
Yeah.
That's been used in songs. That's
It's
been used in other.
used to name a sandwich.
In
restaurants
he
and
just
stuff,
trademarked
and
it
drinks.
into
A cigar. It's a different
Yeah.
avenue. No one's going to mistake a
Right,
knuckle
but
sandwich freaking at Permani Brothers for a knuckle sandwich cigar.
Right,
Yeah.
but two cigars that are very similar. I can
Yeah.
understand why
Oh, yeah,
somebody
yeah.
would
Yeah.
want to.
Well,
to be like,
it's in that same, it's in the same industry, it's in the same area, and the letter and everything I understood. I respected the fact that Viajante, I get it, no problem, but I think Ron's, like you said, there was probably a little bit more wiggle room with Ron. I just think that starting off like that is not a good way to start off the old boutique cigar business.
Yeah, because you never know who you're going to need help from, and
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
freaking, am I going to piss off the freaking owner from Viaje because I'm going to move because I want to stick with El Viajante? No, it's not. At the end of the day, they trademarked it a long time ago, and good for them.
Yeah.
Just having that respect. But what am I smoking tonight? Thanks for asking.
Well,
We were waiting for you to stop talking, and then
Now you know how I feel. That's funny. I'm smoking the Send Nudes.
Oh, right on.
What is it?
Send
nudes.
Oh, Kevin's cigar.
Yeah.
Did you show Jen that picture of the cigar with that band that we talked about that the other company didn't want to use that they want me to use?
No.
No.
I'll show it to her.
Okay. Yeah, I want Jen, just your honest opinion. Look at it real quick and just let me know.
I will tell you.
She's the queen of really being horrible at non-specifics.
I cannot.
So we may have
wait.
to edit part of this.
Right. I cannot wait. To
I will
hear
give
your
you my
response.
first thought, especially in the
Please do.
mindset. Here, I'll look away.
All right.
Don't make it bigger, Kerr.
I'm making it so the old lady can
Oh,
see.
okay.
That's horrible.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you. I feel vindicated because Kevin tried to convince me that it wasn't that bad.
Oh, that's pretty much as bad as it can get.
Okay.
You might as well have that chick with the cigar in front of her,
so
private
it's
area,
So
making
it's
it
two
look
against
like a
two.
penis.
Me and Kerr against you girls, but
Now, if you want to do like an X-rated cigar band, yes, that works just fine.
what do you mean an X-rated cigar band? Oh, yeah. I get
What
it.
do you mean?
Yeah,
What does she
so,
mean?
no.
Kevin?
Like a that would be fine.
It was so the like I said, we won't go into it. I'm leaning it away from it. It's like if they don't
The
want
fact that you were leaning towards it.
No, I was in the
is
middle. I was in
weird
the middle.
to
I
me.
wasn't leaning, but now I'm just a little step back. So
I honestly don't understand
It's horrible.
I didn't actually even see the title of the
Just-
cigar band. I just saw the picture.
Yeah.
I couldn't really focus
It's
on
not a
anything
bad
else.
picture.
Well, remember, it's going to be shrunk down, real small.
Doesn't
Does that
matter.
help? No.
No, it doesn't.
I'm
The size of
going
a
to try and
postage
avoid. I'm
stamp,
going to try
it's
and
still gonna
circle the
be-
drain with this one a little bit without being
Mhm.
specific. What makes the picture worse than what it really is the choice of color.
Yeah.
No.
Choice of color. What about the also the wetness,
What's what happens?
The moisture.
That's what
the
happens.
moisture?
All right.
Yeah, just
It's
saying.
moist.
All right. So now it's okay. So
It could have been
we'll move-
positioned on somewhere else other than straight down.
All right,
is what
so
I'm
just-
Color
saying.
wouldn't have helped.
just
There's
everybody
colors, multiple
shoot me-
colors anyway.
shoot me a message. I'll send you the picture because now everybody's watching. It's like we gotta know what this
No.
picture
No.
is.
No,
Sorry.
not.
No, I'm not going to put it. I'm going to say
the
just
suspense.
shoot me a
You're
message.
just gonna
I'll-
have to not know.
yeah.
Watch the next episode. And
Well, they'll
maybe
know.
we'll tell you.
They'll know about it when Kevin and I release it.
Maybe
So-
Lars will release it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Fuente had his. You know.
That's what I was actually gonna say.
Yeah.
But I
Kevin,
refrained.
Kevin is the worst. Do not. This is why nobody should ever tell him anything anyway. He's
Well,
like
no, it's
foaming at the
No.
He's
mouth
like- he's
to
like
get
Jen-
He's like a
information
little
out.
kid.
it's no, but
He
it's like
is.
It's
it's like
Christmas Eve and
it's
he's
like
opening
Jen,
up gifts.
right? There's an electric fence, and most people get shocked. They just run through it like, "What the hell's this tingling on my neck? What's this tingling
Because you
on my
know it's
neck?"
just gonna sting for a quick
Yeah,
second, and you're gonna
Yeah, I
make it
know.
to the
You're
other
just going to
side.
keep going. Just keep going.
You're
Yeah.
gonna make it. It's not
Yeah.
gonna kill you.
Yeah.
No.
It's not
You
gonna
might- you-
prevent me from going.
Yeah. You might limp for 10, 15 paces, but
The rest of us go up there and go, "Zzz, okay, I got
Yeah.
it, man. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
right over here chilling. No shocking.
uh,
You and Jenna run around pissing yourselves. What the hell?
so, Kerr,
Oh,
do you ever go to a dermatologist?
No.
No.
No. Okay, never mind. We had a dermatologist appointment this week. Jessica was a little.
I've heard about your dermatology
Was that your full
appointments.
body
Jesus.
scan?
No.
Christ, Jen.
No. I was. Yeah.
That
I
was
mean,
very
it's-
loud.
What are you talking about?
In
I was-
mid-sentence.
Sorry, the
No, you-
helicopter.
Yeah,
Oh, is
you're
that
like,
what it is?
you're like,
Yeah.
you're gonna put a gown on? You're just gonna lay there?
Yeah, I
and I'm
thought
like,
it was weird that he didn't put the gown on. I mean, he literally was all like in his glory. Like,
Was
waiting
there at
for
least paper on the chair?
Oh,
The
yeah.
table?
There
Yeah.
was that.
They go to a
little
dermatologist,
piece
not a
of
massage
paper.
parlor.
Well, it looks like
Jesus
a massage
Did he leave his
chair.
socks on
Well,
and
no.
his boots, or like his
no,
like,
yeah, because they
fully
look between your toes.
Yeah.
No, you leave your
He
underwear
didn't
on.
even look really between your toes. He just
He
kinda,
did. No, he looked in between every one.
Did he?
What up?
How
Spread 'em
often
out.
do you go to the dermatologist?
A lot.
Once a year.
You've
Yeah.
gone a couple times.
What?
Is there a family history of melanoma, or you've
No.
had moles removed?
No, I've had stuff taken off before just out of preventative, but because he'll look at something every now and then and be like, we could keep an eye on that or we could cut it off. I'm like, just cut it off.
You are a physician.
Have you not heard? Have you? I was trying to say like 8 times, but the helicopter must have drowned my voice out,
Yeah.
which left you an opening to interrupt. You haven't heard the stories of the dermatology appointments that had Kevin make one for Jess and just being mortified?
I've heard that story. It's just
Yeah,
the fact that he goes yearly, and it's not like he had.
insurance covers it. Let him look at your moles.
Kevin
Well, he can-
is
Is
If
he
you're
your mole buddy?
diabetic, you could go to a podiatrist every 6 weeks and get your toenails trimmed and your feet done.
That's what you need to do.
So you
Yeah.
need to be a diabetic,
That's
Kevin.
what you need to do.
Yeah, now I gotta be diabetic. You should do that.
When
in
you
that
eat enough
class.
sugar, you're
Yeah.
probably borderline.
So yeah, but yeah, I
We'll
go.
do his glucose on the next show.
No.
Yeah, I go every. They did take a little sample.
Yeah,
little
he had
thing
like
from my
a-
back,
like a
like a
bump.
little bump in
It
my
was
back,
weird.
like the size of like a ballpoint pen,
But
tiny.
it's-
But it was enough that I noticed.
But it's hard to even really
Was it a
see
cyst?
anything because of all his tattoos.
That they haven't gotten the results back yet.
Yeah,
They said
like
it was either
3
scar
weeks.
tissue or a cyst.
Was
Yeah.
it where there was a tattoo, so it could have been scar tissue from?
It
getting
would have been
tattooed?
there.
Yeah, it would have been
well,
there for 10 years.
These
yeah.
tattoos are old.
It was in the middle of the tattoo, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Well, it was up at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
right at the corner.
Maybe like a blackhead pimple.
Mole.
That
That's what-
mole.
yeah, he said it could have been a zit at one time that turned into scar tissue.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, so that
Yeah, I
was,
do think it's weird that he didn't even. But it's just how relaxed he was, just in his underwear, just lean back, and like it's just a nurse. So if I wasn't there, she would still come in and like walk you into the room and like come in without him because she did that.
Yeah.
So she just see you in all your glory. Because normally
Yeah,
they
that's what
just
she
kind
does,
of,
though.
but they just come in and they pull the piece of your gown and look at that section, and they keep going. You just
Yeah, it's too much of
let
a
it hang
because they're
out.
because they're
Yeah, you
always
have full access.
This
right?
whole area was like
because they're always like
beaming at her.
because
Do you
they're always like
groom for
pulling
your
it.
nurse?
Do they check your
It
junk
was-
for moles?
Yeah, they
Scrotum?
they look.
No, like
It's
that.
kind of like you're not supposed to have them on the bottom of your feet or on your
Yeah.
palms of your hands.
So they do that like twice. Like
I'm
when I
asking
had
about their junk. Not
yeah,
your
like
palms.
the
well,
like,
are you supposed to have moles on your junk?
yeah.
You can. I have a mole on my junk.
So my original dermatologist, who still owns the office,
Do you want to go to
check-
10 fucking years. You don't
I
want to get a
know
mole
that.
on my
Well,
fucking...
it's kind of talking about
Oh my
things
God.
on. I didn't know you wanted to get specific.
No,
Right.
well, no, let's just act like
Right.
you. Okay.
I would have that looked at, but yeah, no.
I'm
It's,
trying.
Kevin wants to look at it.
I get it
No,
looked at.
no, I said you should have that looked at. Yeah.
I get it looked at every 3 months.
yeah. So
He knows I have to step away from this show in about 20 minutes. So
Okay.
So I'm trying to get all my
Yeah,
jabs in
so
as much
Yeah.
as
I
I
don't
can.
know. I just feel like Kevin's very comfortable, and it's fine. It's fine that he feels very comfortable. But I just know when I go, like even if it's a woman doctor, I'm like, got that gown on.
ask for 2 gowns because one's open in the back, puts one on regular, one on backwards. And I'm
Yeah.
good now.
Yeah. No, I always put it on so I can go like that.
Yeah.
Like a robe.
Yeah.
When I did my stress test, I had to lay on the table without my shirt on, and 2 women like laying over me, shaving me down.
Oh, to put your
Yeah.
EKG on.
Yeah.
He's
trust
lucky
me.
they didn't have to do the sandpaper gel to make
It's,
the contact better.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
why? Why is that? What's up with the gel?
It hurts. It's
Sandpaper.
Oh,
like
does it?
sandpaper, super gritty. So this way it has better contact from the lead to the
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah, I'm not like a simple like one blade bic on the chest.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's whatever the hell she used was good though. It was this little itty bitty one.
Surprisingly,
What she it's
There-
like
yeah.
it's like this little thick. It's like
it's a disposable.
it's just the head though.
Yeah.
It's just the head, and they just go. She was going
Looks
back
like a
and
comb.
forth, and
Yeah.
it freaking. She just banged it out real
kinda,
quick.
It's kind of like the ones that women use like to shape their eyebrows and stuff.
Exactly.
Like those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
those
don't
are
know.
good. They have
How
a
would I
really
know
good
that?
blade.
I don't.
Well, I
Yeah.
thought
Shit,
well,
eyebrows?
men use them too
Yeah,
on their
I'm.
eyebrows.
I'm not one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look at
sorry.
me.
It does that.
Sorry that you don't manscape.
You know what it looked like?
Maybe
It reminded
Joe
me of
used
a tick comb for
Oh,
a dog
yeah.
or your hair.
Yeah.
Because
It
the
was
other
kinda like
place when they
that.
did it, when I got it, when did they do the EKG at the?
At
The
the
cardiologist. They pulled out like the yellow handled bic, and I'm like,
Yeah,
this is gonna be.
That's what
fucking
we
painful.
have in my area
well,
are the old
it's
school
gonna-
single blades that will rip your skin.
It's
right
gonna
off.
be it's gonna be worse in 2 days after they do that.
Oh,
you
it
know?
was.
Yeah.
It was freaking swollen and it was
uh,
itching. Like
You
after,
got little patches.
after I did the treadmill though, it wasn't bad because they did a good job. But the girl at the cardiologist, I was itching and it was
Yeah.
freaking it was horrible. I had my Mano lantern on my chest.
Yeah.
It grew back like in
Yeah.
13 hours.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Like the movie The Santa Claus, it just grew back.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it's
Yeah.
like. That and my beard and everything. I could
Yeah.
shave it and it grows back
How
quickly.
yellow that is.
Yeah. Yeah, that dick of a physical therapist, he jacked up my treadmill the other day
He
to
didn't
like
jack
he
it
did.
up.
It was like 2.5, and I'm always 2.1 at my max. And then so it just made me limp
He's
that much
trying
faster.
to push you a little bit more since we're not as far along as
How is your
we
knee?
thought you would be.
Just slipped him $20 and said, "Here he's being a dick. Jack up
No.
the freaking treadmill."
So we have
now we're talking about something that I am like mind blown about because we are literally he has three more sessions
and we're
left.
at zero improvement. I have not had any improvement in 2 months.
How is that possible?
I know
That's what everybody keeps saying. Even the physical.
You know how
therapy
it's
assistant-
possible? You
Yeah.
didn't get surgery.
Yeah, and I went too long without physical therapy.
Well,
Right.
what he said is that this doesn't happen often, but it does happen where it's frozen, so they
Yeah.
have to break through the scar tissue. So what he's thinking is when he goes Monday to the doctor, they're going to probably have to suggest that they break his scar tissue, and then he has to go to therapy for 10 days straight, like constantly. So I don't know if that's inpatient. I don't know how that's going to be outpatient, because
I think it's outpatient.
Yeah.
Because
gonna be
Emma
a
Grace
nightmare.
was supposed to have
Yeah,
that done.
Kev, I tell you what, man,
He
I-
said it's going to be like re-injuring.
I
his
looked
knee.
I looked it up online, and they
Jessica,
said,
that's when you want to be alone somewhere
Yeah.
by yourself. I suggest get yourself a
Yeah.
hotel.
I don't know
room
how
to
he's going
stay
to
there.
get to therapy.
I looked it up online, and they say when you have to have that done for an MCL or an ACL, it hurts worse than the original accident.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's because it's built up, everything's crystallized, it's scar tissue's built up, so it's like, okay, we got to re-break your freaking leg,
Yeah.
like just re-breaking the
You know,
bone.
and I'm sure part of it was, you know, you not moving, but it was also the fear, because you don't want to bend it and do something worse to it when you were starting to heal, and like the pain. I get that. So you not kind of moving it, not stuff, probably was the worst thing. You
Yeah.
probably should have been up and kind of.
Well, I mean,
Like
the biggest thing is
moving
we
in
went
the beginning.
28 days without a diagnosis.
That's right.
You know, so
And you got to understand something. You go that long without a diagnosis, and you're sitting around waiting. You don't want to freaking re-injure it. You don't want to make it worse. So you
Right.
you follow the directions. Stay
Well,
off
he didn't
it.
even have
Stay
any
off of it.
directions.
Stay off it.
Was
I'm saying just normal, like our
Yeah,
normal instinct is to
right.
stay off it, elevate it, ice it, and just freaking maintain,
Yeah.
its stability until someone can take a look at it and give me a diagnosis. And then from there, the hard part too with injuries like that, as you know, is no matter how much you try, it's like even if you try and bend it, that pain is so bad, it just forces it right back in. That's why you go to physical therapy. That's why you have someone moving it and forcing that, because it's like when you throw your back out.
Even after the 28 days, okay, like he was doing the therapy, they were doing the treatments and stuff. I mean, he still couldn't bend it then. So then we didn't go to therapy for a month, and then he just started again. So it's like, so in 28 days, it did that much damage so that it's still to the same point, is what my point is like, how did it not get a little bit better when he first
what you
did
told
go
me
to
with his,
therapy?
but what you said, according to your I think from our conversations, your initial rounds of therapy were not that intense.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
but
we
you
weren't
would've
weren't doing anything.
But
Well,
he gave you exercises to do to try to loosen the muscle and stretch and all that stuff. And that's still, I'm confused. I just don't know why it's like this. And I just don't think there's any way that if they have to do that, how does that work? How are you doing that? Like,
doing what?
Like they're going to do all of that and I have to deal with you and take you? I don't know.
That's the reason.
For better or for worse, you signed up for it.
Let me tell you how he's going to be, and it is not.
It's
gonna
in
be
your contract.
Kev, I don't
Jess,
think
your
she
relationship
cares
contract.
about the whole what they got to do. It's the byproduct of what she's
Yeah. So
I've already been doing it. Now it's going to be on like steroids.
So
no, he won't be on steroids.
I just know he has a different like his reaction to pain is different than my reaction to pain. And so I don't know what his pain level is going to be. And I just know the way the doctor made it sound was, I think it's going to be bad.
What's his reaction to pain as opposed to yours?
Well, I just mean like I just keep it all in. Like I'm like when I'm
internalize
hurt,
it.
Yeah,
I externalize it, but I work. But I'm a mechanic.
Everyone feels the pain.
I mean,
pain.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've worked through the pain for my whole life. You know, I'm a mechanic. You have neck pain, shoulder pain, back pain. You muscle through it.
It's all everywhere.
But you know, but those are all pains that still allow me to get out of bed.
I understand.
You know, like even after my accident, all the shoulder pain, I can at least still move my arm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know? So
yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, listen. I think everything you're saying and everything that's happening, it's
Still
real.
functional.
I get it, but you don't have to deal with the
Kerr
aftermath.
is willing to come down and take care of Kevin.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I do
Yeah.
it.
I get it.
You're gonna
You know,
put. You gotta.
I've
put
been
it in
injured. I
sock
know what it's
jar.
Kerr will lie you in the back of the truck and drive you
A
to a
sponge
cigar
bassy.
a cigar
Yeah.
shop and pick you up and sit you in a seat, and you'll be
Yeah.
fine.
So I'm assuming though there is no
Like my grandpa.
yeah, exactly.
there won't be any pain management. I assume they won't.
It's inhaled.
I wouldn't do
cigar
any.
smoke.
So you don't think you're going to do any pain
I'm
management?
against pain management. I've never.
Oh my God, Kevin, that's ridiculous.
He's crazy.
That's
That's going to make
It's-
it
you know-
the
you
thing
know-
I've ever heard.
And you know, and it's not, and it's
You
not.
need to stay ahead of the pain.
I
Not
know-
wait till you're in pain.
I know that, you know, and then
No, you don't.
you
Called
know,
chasing pain.
yeah, you know, I don't. You just hear these horror stories, you know, about, you know, like everything, you know, these people that get addicted, and I don't want to become that. I don't want to have to.
Do you think that you would do that?
I don't know, because you hear these stories about these
Stop
people
listening to the stories.
that get injured,
Fake
and they
news.
say the same thing. I don't
Fake
have,
news.
you know, I've
I
never been
can't.
addicted
This
to
is like
anything.
ridiculous.
Well,
Yeah,
no, it's
you know.
not. Listen, it's a serious concern and it's a serious worry because of.
For somebody
The-
who would have been an
Well,
addictive person, he's
I'm getting there.
never
Yeah.
been an
Short
addict.
term.
To
I'm getting
anything.
there. The addiction to opioids and what happens with the addiction is predominantly your psychological dependency on the drug. And I think you're way too mentally strong for that to occur. So that addiction is all psychological and mental, and that's the addiction. Your body, it doesn't matter whether it's an opioid or a steroid or any medication, your body becomes acclimated to it
Mhm.
and is going to become dependent on it. And that's why you titrate medication down so you just don't stop cold turkey. That's
Yeah.
just, it doesn't matter what it is. It's anything we take in our bodies. So you're going to have to take off, titrate medication up and down so your body can tolerate it. So that's the body's physical addiction, if you will, to medication. But all of the heavy uses and addiction are all psychological. Now, there are, and even like Brett Favre talks about it, he was injured and he had to take medication in order to function. So then what happens is he's physically dependent on it, but now he thinks he knows he needs the medication in order to function. So there's the psychological dependency.
Yeah.
And I think you're psychologically stronger, than some folks that would become dependent upon the medication. You got to make the decision yourself. If you can literally get through it with just regular non-steroidals, then God bless you. I mean, 100%. But it felt like when it was first initially injured, it's going to be like that, but even worse. I mean, it's horrible. But that's my little rant on addiction especially when it comes to opioids, because it's really boils down to the psychological versus the physical dependency.
And there's other things you could take besides opioids.
Right.
There's other alternatives.
Yeah.
Don't say I'm not going to take anything. You have to try to stay on top of it and ahead of it, because to get through that week,
Mhm.
you need to be mentally prepared to get through each day.
I'll send you some of Lars's gummies.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Well, we do have that one JSK nug in there.
I mean, it doesn't dismiss the physical dependency of medications. It doesn't, because it's real. It truly is.
Yeah.
And especially freaking with something that's, morphine morphine and all that is basically, heroin. It's all the same. It's the same concept.
Right. I just know that I just can't. Just knowing who you are as a person, I just don't see you being like, oh my God, now I need a pain pill. Like, you barely ever even want to take ibuprofen. So I don't know.
Well, because I also don't want to get even addicted to ibuprofen. I mean, like I said,
Can you get addicted to ibuprofen?
my body has been ravaged in my career for the last 20 years. Like I said, and one of the concerns is
ibuprofen.
So you take ibuprofen every day, or which will ruin your gut, liver, whatever it is.
Well,
but
if you take a bottle of it,
so
why
same
would you
thing.
take a bottle of it?
Yeah, so you take a pain medicine for something else, and you realize, oh my God, like my neck pain's gone, or like my back is like, and then it's like, I don't ever want that pain to come back. So that's kind of what.
Yeah, but that's not addiction. That's called a medication alleviating your pain. It's like saying, it's like having bronchitis and taking an antibiotic and go, oh my gosh, the antibiotic is making these bacteria die.
Right.
I gotta
don't
stop
know.
this from happening.
Yeah.
I want the bacteria back.
Yeah, so maybe it's an irrational fear, but it's.
I
Yes,
think
it
it's an.
is.
I
The
think
way you
for-
explained it, that was definitely
Yeah.
irrational.
Yeah.
I mean, because
but
it's
it is
like
what it is.
like I'm the same way. Like I'll sit there and if I have a headache, she's like, "What anything?" I'm like, "No," because I know if I calm down and relax, my headache
Yeah.
will go away. I don't want to take medication, but there are times, especially with the injuries I've had, where I do got to take medication because I have an injury.
Yeah.
You have tendonitis, you have bursitis, you have arthritis, and every other itis in the world
Right.
that is causing you fucking pain. And the medication is there to either reduce the swelling or to be a pain reliever. But obviously, eventually it's trying to manage that pain in a more healthier way, whether it's losing weight, eating right, taking nutraceuticals, if you believe in that. I mean, I know there's lots of nutraceuticals I've taken in the past that were fantastic, but even taking natural vitamins, there are natural things. It's still fucking
Yeah, you
impacts
can
your body.
overdo that.
Oh
if
yeah.
you take vitamins.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
But I'm going to tell you right now that your therapist and doctor are only going to give you like a mild dose of anything, and it's going to be managed, and then you're never getting it again. They're going to not allow.
There I'll
that.
be on the streets.
Really?
Give it-
Yeah, I can imagine.
Give it hand jobs for crack.
He's going to be buying cigars with glass tubes
Yeah.
just so he can make them into a crack pipe.
That's not irrational. Well, it's like
I don't even have words for this.
like Peter
If
Chris.
If anything,
Like,
like
gosh, I wish I didn't have to.
a lot of
That's
people who already have kind of like, experimented with, like drugs and alcohol and all that stuff. You don't like to get drunk. You don't drink ever to get drunk, like ever. Like that's not happening. You don't like being out of control. So I cannot see you being like, I gotta pop these pills every day. Like I just can't see that being your personality. But
Get him
whatever.
some
it's
morphine
a-
lollipops. I could see him
Yeah.
Actique.
some,
Yeah.
sucking on
They
some
have
morphine
them.
lollipops.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Actique. AQU. I can't remember how it's spelled, but it's Actique. It's a morphine lollipop.
Yeah, see, I don't like it. Hardly ever take anything. Occasionally, I'll take some Advil or some ibuprofen, but I will suffer. I will suffer before I take anything because also sometimes even like when I have
You're
a
lecturing
cold,
Kevin?
no, well for me, I don't complain. I don't say anything. Like he makes it like when he's ooh, like he verbally.
Well,
It's
when you
very
move and someone stabs you,
Yeah, it
you
sucks,
say
just like,
ooh, that tingles a little bit.
yeah.
But that's better. That's better out than in, though. I mean,
Yeah.
keeping it inside is
I
just
guess
not.
that's why I'm an angry person all the time.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm not
You need
alluding
to
to
let
that.
it out.
I'm not
Let
saying
it go.
that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
Goose
like
frogwa or whatever
Yeah.
you say in anger management.
like even the dumb shit. Like if I walk by something, if I bang my leg or my head, I'll be like, "Ow!" I'll freaking let it out. Then I'm like, "All right."
And 10 minutes later,
Well-
I ask,
well,
are you
also
okay?
Like 10
Also,
minutes later, as I'm laying there bleeding, Jen's like,
yeah.
"Hey,
You okay?
excuse me, but have you seen the can opener?"
Didn't you hear
But-
me
but-
bang
but-
my...
but Kerr's also, you used to lift weights doing sports. You vocalized to do, when you're grunt, when you're hurting, you grunt, you make noise, and that gets rid of a little bit of the pain.
Is that what happens with lifting
I don't know.
weights?
I got injured
Yeah.
a lot when I did sports.
You
and
grunt?
I didn't grunt.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
why
I did.
That's why you couldn't lift as much as a man. You
Well, I didn't
grunt.
try to lift as much as a man.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Anyway,
I'll
Kevin's
tell you
just
what.
trying to deflect off the fact
Yeah.
that he's crazy.
Oh, yeah, but when you're hurt,
I
though,
would not want him as a patient.
when I've been
No,
hurt, I
you do
curse and
not.
motherfucker and everything. I scream and I yell and everything else because it kind of gets thinking for me and releases my endorphins and freaking it keeps me going.
When I had my back surgery, yes, I took the opioids for the first 3 days, and then I'm like, you know what? Time to come off of it, and it sucked.
I was gonna crush them up and put it in her fucking applesauce.
But
after
I was
that.
ready to deal with the pain. It was to get over the initial, and then
You should have been on opioids a lot longer because I'll tell you what, it was
horrible.
I believe, yeah. But at the end of the day, though,
On that
like
note, I do have to go.
You really do at one point in time have to see me through some sort of serious injury or something after you're back and then
don't
freaking
wish that upon yourself, Kerr.
stuffing some wad in your armpit hole
I've
and everything
seen you in
else.
excruciating pain. I had to go buy you a cane. You were lying on the floor of the house, unable to move, crawling to the bathroom.
That's because I'm a man and that's what I do.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you do.
On that note, I look forward to listening to the rest of the show.
I'm listening. How come you don't hop along to the mailbox?
I mean, it's outside. There's a step.
Yeah, I've
yeah.
Jen got me cane because I literally would scream and moan and yell as I freaking crawled to the bathroom just so I could take a piss and not piss myself. Sorry, Jen had to go. Her what are you laughing at?
I don't know, just the way you said that.
Yeah.
She got some packing to do still.
Did I send you these, the new Stogie Road detours?
No.
I didn't send you any of these yet. I thought there was a couple missing. I thought I sent you one. I guess
you probably smoked them.
What was the last package?
Shut up,
What was the last package we got from them?
Yeah, not those.
Yeah, it's been a while.
All right. I didn't see it's been a while, but
yeah.
Jesus, Kevin, you sound so angry about it.
I know you sounded like very upset.
It's been a while. Hey, Jen, while you're out, go pick up some cigars and mail them to Kevin. It's been a while.
Yeah.
They are busy.
You got some cigars coming from Never Ash. We're gonna have them on the show in like June or something.
Okay, to talk business later.
Oh, by the way, the cigars you sent, Jess, while we're talking about getting gifts and me not sending you any, fantastic.
Yeah,
really.
What all did you send him?
I sent him the Stolen Throne, the Three Kingdoms, and was the Arms.
Call to Arms.
Call to Arms.
And
really then I sent you the Ezra Zion Lucille one.
Yes, yeah, I see that.
I thought you would enjoy that one.
I do. I like it. The knuckle sandwich is really good.
Yeah, I had one today, really good. And then I sent you a couple of the I think Paul Stulacs.
Okay. Yeah, the ones you sent, I smoked them in the mornings first thing, and I was like, God damn, why am I even trying to make cigars? This thing's fantastic.
He does a good job.
It's amazing.
It's funny you say that because every now and then I'll have a cigar. Like I had the Army of Angels by Corona a couple weeks back, and that was an Aganorsa made with some FSG, and I was smoking that cigar, and I go, what am I doing? Why am I even trying to do anything in the cigar world? Like this is how can I even compete with the cigar like this?
Yeah, but you're not really trying to.
I know, but Kerr said that, and it's like. Yeah. I'm glad he said it because I've thought it so many times of smoking just something that just blows your mind. And it's like, and then you got to realize, okay, they got
okay, stop talking for 1 second.
20 fucking years into it.
Which one was your favorite out of the three?
The Call to Arms.
Yeah, that was really good. That was their newest one.
Sorry, the guy sent me a message. I dropped off my infused cigars about an hour and a half ago.
Oh, you dropped them off
2 hours ago. Yeah. Well, I sent you a message. That's why when you said, "Hey, when you guys want to get together," I was like, "Sorry, I had to run out and drop them off." He just sent me a message. He's like, when can you get me more?"
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's a sweetened tip and infused with cognac, and I should have done more. I didn't know.
You said that one box of 10 you showed me?
Yeah, 2 boxes.
Oh, 2 boxes.
I did 2 boxes, and I threw a couple in there to test. I just didn't know how they were going to turn out, and I didn't want to toss in like 5 boxes and then have them not like it and be like, "Fuck! Now what am I going to do with 5 boxes of?" So, proof of concept. I'm gonna be starting the old process. That I think I have another way of accelerating it.
Yeah,
I have another way I've been working on with accelerating, but he really likes them. I thought they turned out really good.
Yeah. Oh, right.
It's just the it takes them. It took about a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the tip. I dipped the tips I think 2 or 3 times, and that dries pretty quickly, and it was frickin' stay sweet throughout the whole frickin' cigar.
Oh, nice. Right on.
It's real good. I got to send you some of that stuff. That's the other thing I want to send you.
Yeah, I read today from Half Wheel, which I didn't know the new Caldwell, the 15 Minutes of Fame, that new Lancero. That's Caldwell started a new company. So it's so they have the Lost and Found, and then when Lost and Found originally started, it had a different name, and I forget what that name was. But that's the name of like the new division of Caldwell that will be producing their own cigars. Because I think in the article he said he has about 30,000 cigars that are vintage, they're aged. But he goes, in the article, Caldwell says, this is it. He goes, there are no more good aged cigars out there. And he goes, they are all gone. So he's moving to producing cigars, but they'll all be aged for a minimum of 2 years.
Gotcha. Yeah. So is that the one that caught all the shit from the Pravada guys saying that was the Cookie Monster?
It was an interesting article written by Half Wheel, because it said that this was the third time that cigar has made its debut. So apparently Caldwell released it once on his own.
Yeah.
Then released it as the Cookie Monster, and now he's re-releasing it again as 15 Minutes of Fame. So so maybe there's some confusion there, that maybe they thought that he's releasing one of their cigars when he actually just sold him one of his previous cigars.
I don't know.
I think some of the comments,
ridiculous.
Yeah. Some of the comments I was reading was like, "Oh, look, see that some of these people you work with are making cigars for another club," because I think it was in the luxury club. And they're like,
I'm sure.
So I guess you get some of those.
I kind of
Matt,
but I want to say this though. I really want to know, do people really believe that these are exclusive? Do they really believe that?
Yes.
When they're in these mass amounts in these cigar clubs from unknown makers or whatever, or like, I mean, I just don't understand how they believe that. Do they really believe that?
I don't know. I mean, but you look at Matt. Matt has done blend or cigars for several clubs now. Booth,
right? But he's established, right?
Yeah.
Like he's been doing this for a while. So let's just say, like, someone who's newer in doing this, and especially someone who's started their own, club or whatever. Even if it is exclusive in a sense, like, hey, this is the band you put on this cigar, that cigar has been made. It wasn't made specifically, unless that's like implied, or if that was the discussion. So if that's not the discussion, and it was hey, we have these cigars.
I don't think they're specifically.
But that's what I'm saying, is that nobody really is knowing the full truth, right?
Well, it's the reality of things versus the marketing of things, right? And that's really where things.
So then you have the Caldwell, and then I guess Pravada, who are now battling it out, and it just seems kind of silly. It's like, you talk about unity, you talk about having like, there's enough room in the cigar industry for everyone, but then they go at each other when they don't like something. It's just
I don't know. I don't know enough of the story because I don't follow it, so I'm not privy to. So I don't want to comment either way. But I thought that, because I like Kerr, I had heard some like comments here and there, so I'm like, what is going on? Then that Half Wheel, and it's like, oh, this is the third time it's been out. So I'm like, I wonder if anybody else knows that. That would alleviate some of the confusion about this, but this cigar.
But I don't think it would alleviate it, because I've read some of the comments, and again, I mean, like you, I don't know enough about it. All I can comment on is what I read. And also the reality of things, and marketing versus sales and everything else. Death Bucket was the first blend that Pravada released.
Oh, was it? Oh, the Pravada's first blend,
the LCA.
Oh, okay,
right.
I didn't know that the Death Bucket was the first one.
Pravada was doing Pravada Cigar Club.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember I talked to Brian, and he was telling me about the concept of the LCA, and was looking for, cigar shops, and, that wanted to sign up. I called a few shops, got some shops signed up. I sent them a bunch of business cards of the shops that I visited in my travel. So, there's a bunch of freaking business cards in there. And then they released their first blend, and it was the Death Bucket.
Oh, okay.
But the Death Bucket, that's not the first time the Death Bucket was released.
Right.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, the first time the Death Bucket was released, I believe Boothie put that together for specific shops.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. I thought that was just a Pravada only. So
and we visited one of those shops that actually had that cigar.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
okay.
So it wasn't a exclusive release. It was just a re-release of a blend
for an exclusive
that was released years ago for exclusive cigar shops, and then just sat and aged.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it's so freaking good.
But see, and that's just it. I think you get the terms and like when people think certain things, like I think it's sad that the clarification isn't there, because then people start going at each other, and it's just it just seems so unnecessary. It just does. And then I feel like between like all of the exclusive, like this is what's in my cigar subscription of the month, blah 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 blah. It's like if you enjoy it, good. Yeah. Keep enjoying it. Move on. Yeah, stop making a ruckus over.
I know. All of these cigars. It's like that
crazy.
post. I don't know if either one of you saw the post in the cigar community builders that I posted right before the show, probably like 10 minutes before the show. Yeah. And it was I had reposted Joe Grow in Drew Estate, sent out the email about the FDA that Charlie had posted. The FDA is, they want to ban menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars, large and small. So it's going to take years, to work that way through the system. You're probably talking 3 years at a minimum. And Drew Estate basically just said, it's we're going to, it's business as usual in case our retailers want to know. Yeah. So I had made the post, and I'm like, and that was just posted by Charlie, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours ago. And then certain groups have already reposted it, and people were already throwing acids, okay, they can have them. And I made in that post, I go, we don't need to get on that bandwagon, because everybody wants to throw the acid to the wolves. Okay, let them have the infused cigars. We'll get rid of acids because it's Cuba #1 selling cigar in the world. If they stop making 10 million of those, people are going to buy 10 million of something else, and maybe that's my cigar. I really believe that's how they're thinking. But in my post, I said, just like wolves, they're never full. They're always hungry. If we give them acids and we give them the infused cigars, they're going to come for something else, and then they're going to be like, well, we already got our first W, so it's going to be easier to get that second one, and then that third one. And because I've told people in the past.
I have a quick question though. What do they consider flavored?
That's what they haven't broken down yet, because that's why
that's going to take about 3 years for them to work through.
What's infused?
Because there's infused, there's botanicals, there's
it's taken them what? Fucking 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. It's taken them 6 years
to define.
5 years to define what a premium cigar is.
Yeah,
right.
So my point, in which I've said plenty of times over the last year, and people's like, well, they can have flavored cigars, and I go, you give them flavored cigars, and what they're going to do is they're going to go after, and they're going to start watching cigar reviewers, and they're going to start, and they're going to post, and then Charlie is going to be the one.
But I have
they're going to pull up a half wheel blog, and they're going to show that Charlie Manata, an average cigar smoker, smoked this cigar, and he got birthday cake.
Yep, chocolate.
What is this cigar flavored?
Yep.
But someone got birthday cake, so this cigar. That cigar's gone.
First off,
agreed.
I've never smoked an acid cigar that was flavored. Okay, it was sweet, had a sweetened tip.
Yeah.
But never did I get a flavor besides besides tobacco. But as far as taste in my mouth, it was sweet. Didn't taste like anything but sweet sugar.
Yeah, you can't taste an acid and go, I got grape.
Right. That's not a flavor.
But that's the definition of flavor. It's a definition of what flavor it is. That's
because
what they got to figure they're going to work out.
Well, it's because they're altering the tobacco somehow to get an infusion. So even if it's
infusion versus something that was the tip is
it's
like flavor as in grape.
Who's getting grape? I've never gotten
No. It's they have grape cigars. I think it's
I'm confused.
Well, the definition of flavored is the same definition of tobacco products. It's the painting with a broad stroke, right?
Okay.
So when you say tobacco products, it's chewing tobacco, snuff, cigarettes, cigars, cigarillos, blah 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 blah. So when you say flavored cigars, it's like, freaking, Swisher Sweet Grapes, Strawberry,
or
Cuba Cuba,
the Rocky Patel Java Cherry,
or Rocky Patel Java Cherry. I mean, and then they start playing with a broad stroke.
Coffee flavored ones.
So that
they say
cafe.
They say cafe. They say like on the Rocky Patel, it says cherry. It says mint. Those are defining
mint chocolate chip. Yeah.
Those are defining
the
flavors.
Nub makes the espresso mint, or I think it's a cappuccino mint or something like that.
Yeah, so a defining flavor. That's why it's the acid Cuba Cuba.
It's like they do with a premium cigar.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to take flavor and go, okay, what do you mean by flavor? Before with cigarettes, it was flavored cigarettes, and all those flavors were kind of like the typical flavors of the rainbow: orange, cherry, grape, blueberry, blah 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 blah. But what they're trying to do is get a little bit deeper. And Kevin, you're absolutely right. And I've had this argument before in the past on another podcast I used to be on. It's my personal opinion, I don't really favor infused cigars. I don't. It's just not my gig.
Right.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be the sacrificial lamb of the cigar industry. I think that what Drew Estate does with their cigars is what's his face with the nugs. Risty, the flavor. I think what they do is
you also have Deadwood. You also have the Upsetter.
Right, but I'm saying everything that they do with their infusions in Lars, it's very unique and it's incredible. And if people like smoking it, then they like smoking it. That's what they dig on. That's great. I don't care. But it's the reason why the NRA has never backed down. It's the reason why when they were like, hey, we want to get rid of extended mags and we want to get rid of these bullets called cop killers. And they're like, no. Like, so you don't care about the police. And the NRA said no, because the government is like water. As soon as you let them in, they find a way. So I worked in the pharmaceutical industry and we've seen this happen. The government came in. They said, we want to regulate. Why don't we all just get together and we'll come to an agreement? The pharmaceutical company said, okay, great. They said, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're just going to regulate this and this and this and this. And they said, okay, great. It's been less than 10 years later. You can't even get a fucking pen from a pharmaceutical rep because it's considered an influencing freaking gift. It went from obviously being crazy in the pharmaceutical industry.
Right.
To the point where you can't even have your name on a fucking pen. So the cigar industry, instead of this whole divided and wanting to roll the freaking, infused cigars, under the bus, and honestly, even the premium cigar they're trying. I mean, it is what it is when it comes to the cigars that are not smoked as cigars. But when you finally work that hard to define what a premium cigar is, then draw your line in the sand, because you have to, because it will not take long for them. What do they say in Germany? When they came for the gypsies, I said nothing. When they came for the old, I said nothing. When they came for the Jews, I said nothing. Then they came for me. There was nobody there to help me. It's the same concept. It just is.
Yeah. It's interesting that you said that, though, when someone gets their Captain Crunch or whatever you said,
birthday cake or
some flavor.
I get
chocolate notes, cocoa notes.
So
but I just
cinnamon.
Where do you draw the line?
You can't. Not with the government. The government's just gonna and this is why, and I do believe in this, and this is why I think the industry, just in my opinion, needs to be smarter when it comes to cigars they're releasing, what they're naming them. I think if you want to keep producing great quality cigars, there is going to be some give and take. There is, unfortunately, with the government involved. And I hate the fact that they do take away the creativity, because the nostalgia of the Captain Crunch cigar or the Rocky Roads, it's nostalgic for adults. It's not in one. And it's funny. I don't want to dive down a freaking rabbit hole here, but this will make you laugh.
Right.
Joseph and I were having a conversation about this, and You know how the government said, Joe Camel was attracting kids to go smoke. And all
Yeah.
that sort
Oh,
of shit?
yeah. Which is crazy.
I said, when we were in high school, we had public schools that had smoking lounges.
Mhm. Yeah, we did. I did. I
And
smoked outside.
well, no, inside.
Yeah, we had a courtyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a lounge, and you had to get a letter from your parents, and you had and you were allowed to smoke. And I'm like,
Yep.
Joe Camel, the government's going to blame Joe Camel, but you have a facility of education, higher learning, that is allowing kids to smoke. And Joe, I was telling Joe thought I was bullshit. He was like completely thought I was crazy.
The fact that you could go to the little corner store and buy your mother or father a pack of cigarettes and a gallon of milk. I did it for my mom all the time.
Well,
Standards, 8 years old,
75 cents for a pack of Merit.
My first job,
that's what my mom smoked.
My first job was in a restaurant and attached to a hotel in a little tiny nook of the hotel, which any kid, you put in your 225, you pull the lever.
Oh, you kidding? Yeah. The best Marlboros.
And out came a packet of cigarettes.
Of course. I mean,
what I'm saying is that was so much more accessible. I mean, it's so hard. Unless a kid is getting an adult to buy it for them, no kid is going. I get carded. I do not look young. I get carded for drinks, anything. So it's like, come on.
It's amazing how the generations. My dad used to tell me how he'd go down to the corner bar and the guy would wrap up a bottle of freaking whiskey from my grandfather when my dad was probably like 10 and give it to my dad. And he'd go up the street. Like I said, I always went to the corner store, went to Sanders, had my buck, 75 cents for a pack of Merit, 25 cents. I either got candy or a comic book.
Yep.
And
so funny.
to the 25 freaking Swedish fish or a comic book, right? Penny each.
Yeah, they had the little fish jars up front. You grab a bunch of bazooka gum and be like, 5 cents a piece. Like,
hey, Mr. Sanders, while you're sitting there smoking your pipe and freaking picking your ass, can you just dig in that there and grab me 25 fish, please?
I know, with your bare hands.
Listen,
sure.
It was awesome.
With the cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, if you got ash on one, he'd just knock it off, put it in your bag.
Listen, you didn't care. You were a kid. You were getting candy.
Oh,
It did not matter.
Yeah.
Shit. I was like, you know what, man, motherfuckers. That was ash in my fuck. I'm gonna crank call him later on. But I mean, but when it comes to, I think, this fight against the government, it's an uphill battle because tobacco is bad, and the whole point is, don't roll. Don't freaking sell out a part of the business, part of the industry. Don't. I mean, I'm sorry, but everyone has their own little freaking mixture that they freaking spray and rub on the tobacco. They just do.
Yeah. Wait till the government finds out about which I guarantee they don't know what a painted Maduro is. So wait till they find out what that manufacturers paint their cigars, to make them darker.
Good job, Kevin.
I'm saying, so we roll over on acids and
I just think you could do that with the whole industry, really, and that's where they need to stand united. And again, and I think even the boutiques like myself and other companies too, when you see someone like Fuente and Rocky Patel, and they're investing a lot of money in this and they're fighting hard, and all the criticism that people want to give them, they can go pound sand because they could easily take a step back and say, A, I have a lot of grandfathered cigars. B, I got enough money to register all of them and freaking go through any testing so they can pound sand. And C, if I do nothing and they wipe out 50% of my competition, that's more cigars I'm going to sell. Yeah. But why do you think they're fighting?
Because they know they'll come after them.
Because they know exactly. Because they fucking know as soon as they freaking wipe out the others, they'll come after the rest, and all that money spent. And it's. I also believe in the sincerity when Carlito talks about the passion and the love and Rocky, because they do love it and it's a business, and I do believe that they want to fight for everybody because they believe the industry and they love the cigar industry and everyone's part of it. I do believe that 100%, but I also you can't just be all emotional. There's got to be business decisions behind it.
Yeah, I remember
the biggest business decision I could think of.
Yeah, I remember sitting down with a Nimish Desai from Rocky Patel with Bradley Rubin was there. The guys from Crown Heads were there. And I had brought this up, and then we were just talking, and Nimish goes, do I want to see any of these people go out of business? He goes, no. He goes, do I want to sell more cigars than them? And he goes, yes. He goes, you're goddamn right. He goes, I want to do better than they are doing because we make better cigars. We make premium cigars, and people are going to choose our cigar over theirs because we make better cigars, not because there's a limited selection sitting on the shelf. He goes, we don't want them to smoke ours just because
that's
that's
all they have to.
Yeah.
He goes, that's why we're fighting. Yeah.
It is. And I don't think anybody in reality wants, there's always a healthy dose of competition. It keeps spice. It keeps things interesting. It keeps things going. When you're always winning, you kind of get bored. You're like, all right, like you're
going to win so much, you're going to get sick of winning.
Well, you do though, in a sense, because there's nothing new coming out. It's like people. Then does the industry die? Less people will be.
It's not exciting anymore.
Because one day we'll be sitting around and be like, hey, Rocky Patel hasn't come out with a new cigar in like 5 years, and he'll be like, yeah, because we hadn't had to. Yeah. Who else are you gonna buy?
If it came to that, I just definitely.
You want the edge, or the edge?
Yeah, definitely. All of it's going to be an interesting turn of events.
Sure. I mean, and again, they to the point Nish made. It's who wants to even though it's a business, there's a creative part of that business. There's a creative part of the blending of the tobaccos, and do you think these guys sit around trying to create hybrids and freaking really hard to find locations in the best earth to grow tobacco to make these special blends?
Right.
Because they just want to make more money? No, they freaking love it.
So it's interesting. So, people at home have a liquor cabinet, and obviously if you smoke cigars, you're going to have a humidor, right? 9 out of 10 times, I guarantee you, a kid or a teenager, they're reaching for the alcohol. They're not ever going to go in and be like, hey, I want this cigar. But when you go into a store, what's accessible? Alcohol, not cigars.
Yeah. No.
So I just find it ludicrous that they think that these young kids are getting hooked on premium cigars.
Well, they're not, and that's
I know.
Well, the problem is this is like I agree 100% with you, but I've always learned like when you're like in an argument or a fight, honestly, I think at some point a conversation needs to be had of. So you want to get rid of flavored premium cigars, infused premium cigars named freaking Captain Crunch and Rocky Roads, but you're okay with freaking ice cream alcohol.
Yeah.
But it's like trying to hop that freaking medium and freaking make that well, not only that, but then try and have this cornerstone of your argument a deficiency in another industry that almost parallels what you're doing is horrible. So that's why I don't go down that path, and I hate when people do that. But I've said it before. I'm like, listen, you motherfuckers talk about how many kids do you think are going to walk into a freaking cigar shop? Zero. But you see I was down in Charleston. I see a little ice cream truck running around. It wasn't an ice cream truck. It was a freaking making margaritas and had alcohol ice cream. It was an adult ice cream.
Yeah, if you go to Asheville, North Carolina, they have a whole little tram bus thing. Yeah. You can drink wine and beer and all that stuff. Yeah. But what I find interesting is when I was growing up, we had guns in the house in a cabinet. We had alcohol and stuff. Of course, when we became teenagers, we were curious, the alcohol and stuff. But I'm saying when I was real little, we were told, you touch that, like that's it. Like we were taught gun safety, all this. My parents parented us, and that's how it was. Where the fuck do they have like any say in? I mean, you don't get to just go and be like, hey, we think that. What about in the household? Anybody could bring that into their household. That parent might allow that kid to have that, but that's not all. That's not going into a lounge. That's in someone's home.
Well, that's getting into that whole freaking.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like
horrible parenting anymore. Everyone wants a fucking label on something because it's easy. People don't want to be parents anymore. What they want to do is they want to be friends. They want to be buddies. They want to be freaking pals. And instead of freaking saying no, or your ass is grounded, or you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, blah blah blah. Because we grew up the same way. I mean, shit, my mom freaking smoked. You know, we had alcohol in the house and we had guns. And we learned and were trained and freaking respected weapons. There's nobody running around our house like, hey, I'm gonna point this gun at my cousin.
Because Yosemite Sam.
Yeah. Listen, and I'm sure in some households, like, you know, you hear horror stories but even in our household, it's, you know, we
But as stupid
arms,
is, stupid does with some families.
We make sure that it's done appropriately. It's gun safety. But I'm just saying, like, I just find it interesting that so many people are willing to not fight for their freedoms, their liberties.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, it's okay. They can make that decision for me. No. The government should not be making those decisions for you.
Well, but that's the thing is the government has always felt that that we're not smart enough to make our own decisions. You know, it's the reason why even years ago, when there's a suggestion, a recommendation to cut the Social Security and give money back to people so they can reinvest their own money. And, you know, you have people going, no, you can't do that. You know, that Social Security is there for no. Social Security was created as a freaking desperation move to help people and as a temporary freaking solution.
Right. A lot of those social programs
people look at Social Security as a retirement, and it's really not.
It's not enough. Do they even realize how much it actually is?
Well,
I don't think they pay attention.
That's because everybody doesn't realize that the money's being paid in is paying people Social Security, but they use that money elsewhere, and that's what the government always does. It's like anything else.
Lockbox. Lockbox.
Well,
Door.
Yeah. Well, it's but the thing is with the government is their solution to anything is, well, if we need more money, we'll just increase taxes.
Yeah.
We'll just tax. And you know, a lot of this, taxation without representation back to the freaking days of the revolution, when you have these appointed officials overseeing these government bodies that are not voted in, and they have a lot of power, and it's really unchecked power, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's really scary.
Right. Well, it's kind of interesting that like so many of these social programs that were designed were meant to be short term, right? A helping hand, a help up, you know, not so much a handout. It is kind of a handout, but it was supposed to be, to a hand up. Well, it turns out to be a handout and a handout generational. Like now it's been taught generationally. Like
you learn how to beat the system. You learn how to get free shit.
It's
terrible. You don't want free shit, right?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Speaking of free shit, as Steve Saka of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust is watching this, I smoked my last Silver Mesa El Americano tonight. So
we'd like to have a social program through Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. It's called the Kevin Shahan Law.
Yeah.
The DTT Trust.
Yeah.
DTT Trust.
We're going to give it a good name because my favorite size is El Americano. It's the El Americano Act.
It's the El Americano.
2022. Who's against an act called the El Americano Act of 2022?
It's
Nobody.
American. It's American. You get free shit.
That's it.
And like everybody else, what? Steve Saka's got money. He's rich.
Yeah,
he can afford it.
Yes, his wife gives him
a joke,
bill.
Jess.
I know, but his wife gives him a bill for every cigar he smokes.
El Americano Act of 2022.
What I'm saying is every social
from Cigarprop, a box of El Americanos every 6 months.
Every social program is always like built on the backs of like we'll just tax the rich, but we'll just tax the rich because we don't tax them enough, so we'll just tax them a lot and then they can pay and we'll make it equal. So
when I
we'll just tax Steve Saka the El Americano Act.
When I used to work through like some social service, like Medicaid programs and stuff, some of the money that gets billed for certain things, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How is that billable?
How's billing a dead person billable?
I just was floored on the amount of money some of these workers are getting. And then you see these cases on the news, like of abuse and all stuff. And I'm like, but they were getting paid so much money.
Well, they're getting paid money, but the freaking the people who are taking care of them are freaking horrible.
I know it's crazy,
but that's the government,
amount.
though. That's the government.
But I will tell you that in some programs, like through certain companies, especially because I worked for a couple when I lived in North Carolina, I got paid pretty good money. But I also had other people who worked alongside of me. So when you had a client, you weren't with them every day for so many hours, like, and get burnt out. Like, you could switch it up. You can make your schedule with your other coworker and stuff, which was, I thought, the best program, because it does. I don't think anyone realizes when you're taking care of somebody with any kind of special need in any sense. I mean, it could just be physical. It doesn't have to just be mental. It's very taxing, on the person who's taking care of them and the person that you're taking care of.
That's where I started my career.
Yeah, so I do believe that the money should be there for workers. Mm-hmm. I absolutely 100%. But at some places, it is not like that, especially in group homes. Forget it. Some
of these companies. My first job out of college, before I got my job with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, was working for a company called New Directions for Progress. My mom and my sister worked there, and it was taking care of adults in group homes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I did that for several months. I think I did that for 4 months before I worked with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And
I asked you, did it affect you in like, could be negative, it could be positive, it could be both. But was it leaning towards one?
My sister worked there for years and actually had a great and positive impact on a young lady. For me, I think it was very sobering, that we had 3 women in our home, and one of them actually spent years in a facility, and was severely mentally and physically handicapped.
Yeah.
And just to see, working with them, trying to integrate them into society, taking them out on trips, them going to work and everything else. It's pretty sobering when you work with individuals like that. And just makes you feel fortunate for your life and what you have. But it is very rewarding. And, it was, I'll never forget,
I think you learn really fast what you're willing to be okay with and what you're not.
Oh yeah. I had to bathe adults. Yeah. I had to freaking clean diapers and wipe asses and everything else. And I was fucking 22.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
It was a lot. No, I was 24. But one of the things that was really crazy that I couldn't get over was the company. And here's where you talk about abuse, right? So I a lot of them there's a lot of folks that were very physical, mm-hmm. and there are some folks that would get physical back. And it's because the person that's taking care of the handicapped person, it probably is, they're not exactly freaking the brightest light bulb in the pack. So they're about, close to being a resident. But the distribution of drugs.
It's awful.
But no. You have to give the clients their drugs.
You do. Yes, the right amounts. And
no. You had to give the right amount.
Right.
And consistently. But it's so different now. God almighty, back then we had a fucking lockbox, and I'd unlock a box and there's freaking drugs in there that probably people were pocketing, because there were some heavy freaking tranquilizers in there. I mean, there's some drugs that would knock your freaking socks off looking at the drugs in there. And here I am. I've had no clearance.
And you get to administer a narcotic. Yeah.
No training except for, Nancy gets 5 of these every night and 1 of these, and then make sure you just mark it, and that's what you did. And I'm sitting there looking at these drugs going, and I remember when I got into pharmaceuticals, laughing my ass off, thinking, Jesus Christmas, We're talking about lockbox here. We're talking about freaking, prescription pads and not writing, doctors writing fake prescription shit.
I know.
I got people with a freaking, 10th grade education that are dishing out freaking heavy sedatives. And all they got to do is remember to freaking subtract 1 from 10, because I was just amazed at the availability of those drugs. But a lot of these companies too, and I can't say this for New Productions or Progress because I think they're a pretty decent company, but
right.
There's a lot of companies and there's a lot of doctors that take that money and just pocket it.
Oh, listen,
they don't spend it. Doctors fucking illegally bill for that shit.
Yeah, I will never mention exactly who I've worked for. There's probably been maybe 5 companies total that I've worked for, where 3 of them were way up on the up and up, and 2 of them that, holy cow, needed to be taken down. Oh, yeah. But my ex-husband had a cousin who was a dentist, but she started this whole Medicaid dental program and stuff. She ended up she would have done jail time, but they took away her license. She couldn't practice. She was committing Medicaid fraud.
Yep. Yeah, there's all sorts of ways. I joined a company. I joined a hospice company here that when I joined them, they bought another company that was getting, that was in the midst of a legal battle for Medicare fraud. Yeah. There was a Durple. What the hell was it? Was it a home health company that was billing Medicare and Medicaid millions of dollars?
I can believe it.
It's such a scam. I mean, I've known doctors that illegally bill. I've known doctors that freaking wrote freaking prescriptions illegally. Doctors selling drugs out of their trunk.
But even now, you have to check everything when you go into a hospital or you go to your doctors. You need to look at everything and see what they're billing you for, because some of the stuff they bill you for, it didn't even happen, and you're like, but. I got billed for a doctor talking to another doctor about me. What? They never even saw me, but I'm now paying him a huge fee because you consulted with him?
The medical industry is
blown my mind.
Well, I will say this about the medical industry just because it's so freaking broken and glued together with freaking horrible glue. But when you think about the legal world and lawyers, you think about doctors, right? If you have a lawyer, if you call your lawyer, you talk to them for 15 minutes, is that free?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
Right. For legal advice.
No, absolutely not. There is no
such thing. There should be a charge, but
if you call your doctor for 15 minutes and ask him medical advice, is it free?
No.
Yeah. I'm saying most likely there's times you'll call the office.
Oh, but you never talk to the doctor. You talk to the nurse.
Talk to paralegal. Is it free?
Yeah, it just depends, I think. No, I don't think so. The receptionist can't tell you anything. You wouldn't want to talk to them.
No, I'm saying in a law office, every time you communicate with the lawyer, the paralegal, or anybody there, you're getting fucking billed.
Right.
Where the medical industry, there's a lot of consulting with other physicians, a lot of conversations with patients. There's a lot of offices having conversations with patients that's not billed and not billable. And
I was billed.
Well, I'm saying I think that they've been shifting more towards, offices now say, if you're leaving this practice or if you're being referred to a specialist, we're charging you X amount of dollars to transfer your medical records to a doctor.
Okay, but here's my thing: that when I got billed for a doctor because they consulted. What did they consult? What was I not privy? I literally saw the doctor maybe 3 times the whole time I was in the hospital. It was all the nurses doing everything. So what did he need to consult with another doctor for?
Well, it's just and I'm saying you're going to start probably seeing more of these, and that's been the argument. And that's the argument in the medical industry is that the reason why doctors make good money. Because they get reimbursed the insurance and blah, 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 blah. But why do fucking lawyers, I bet you a freaking average little podunk lawyer probably does quite well for themselves versus a freaking physician, because every time they scratch their ass and they think of your freaking case, they're billing you.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
Everything's billable. Yeah,
Mhm.
my hourly rate is $300, and you know, I'll give you a free 30-minute consultation. Okay, great. Then after that, I sent you an email. I read this email and responded. It was 15 minutes.
You know, those
$80.
lawyers that always say they do certain ones pro bono, or they only do like I get paid if you get paid in a
Yeah.
sense. I mean, I just find that so crazy.
Well, a lot of lawyers that they'll I can't remember if it's necessary or if it's mandatory, but I know there are lawyers that will take pro bono cases. They'll either do it for free, or if a lawyer hears your case and they review shit and they're like, okay, this guy doesn't have any money, or this girl doesn't have any money, or they have very little money, but
their case is winnable.
But this is hardcore. Even if they settle, I'll do pretty fucking well.
Yeah, contingency basis. Yeah.
So here
I
you
get
go.
that.
If you win, I want 40%. You know,
Right.
And
I get that, and then, I mean, but you got to win. Like that's such a gamble, like of time and energy. And then
it's gambling.
Right. I just it's so crazy to me.
But that's
So crazy.
shit. There's lots of lawyers that'll do that too, because if they see a big freaking money case, you know, or they see, oh my gosh, that guy was killed by the cops, that family doesn't have money, I'm going to go represent him, because you know what? I guarantee you, if we make enough noise in the freaking in you know, in the social media, you know, the freaking someone will settle for a couple million.
It's crazy. I remember one time I went into a food store and I slipped. There was like a puddle of water, or like there was condensation or something on the floor. I busted my ass, and like three or four people saw it, and they were like, "Oh, like we saw what happened, and like you're injured, and like you need to sue them and all this stuff." And I'm like, "No, I'm just gonna tell them like they need to mop this up and put a wet floor sign, you know, like." I don't want anything. I'm not injured. Like
I would have done that in my youth. Now
my pride was injured. I mean, it was so embarrassing.
I know, like Smokey from Friday. My neck, my back, and my back.
But listen, all those people that were around me, that's what they were trying to convince me to do. They're like, "You're hurt. Don't move. And I'm like, "I'm not hurt. Like I'm embarrassed. My feeling, like I feel stupid. I'm pretty sure I'm beat red right now. I busted ass, but I'm not hurt." Like I could never go through like pretending I'm injured just on the whim of that. I just found
as
it like
George Costanza would say,
mind
if you
blowing.
believe it, it's not a lie.
Well, guess what? I do not feel good as a human being, and there are people out there. I've met them. I know those people, and I cannot be that person.
Who told you to put the bomb on? Did I tell you to put the bomb on? Who told you?
Exactly.
What is the bomb? Where'd you get this bomb from?
I'll tell you what. I think I told you a story before. I was working for SmithKline Beach, and a girl was interviewing for the job, and on our way back, got hit by a Pepsi truck.
God.
And it was a car accident.
Remember the story.
It was a car accident. Got hit by a Pepsi truck. Their fault.
Well,
she had freaking like facial reconstruction, steel plates and shit. Had to get like a steel pin in her finger. She broke her hip, broke this. And it was funny is when she kind of like recovered, she wanted to know. She's like, I did I get the job? I want to get the job, you know, don't let, and she did get the job. But when she was telling the story, I was like, did you sue? She's like, no, I'm not like that. I was like, fuck. Today, if that was me today, you would see Kerr / Pepsi Cola.
Yeah.
But
Carico.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I'm saying is that that's something a little different. Me slipping at the store and I was not injured versus somebody who's literally having your face reconstructed.
Should have felt harder, Jess.
That's different.
Lesson learned.
Yeah. Listen, that's totally different.
It is different, but I'm saying like it's. Shit.
I had a friend that from high school who, when we were in our 20s, she got into an accident with a police officer, and it was the police officer's fault. And she was like She had back surgeries. I mean, she had a lot of issues, and they had a huge settlement. She'll never have to work again.
I didn't get dick for mine, but even
not when, that makes it right.
Even when I got my accident, on the consultation, and the lawyer's like what do you want from this? I go, I don't want to be in the hole. I go, it's all I want. I go, injuries will heal. I go, and then I still end up coming out.
You came out like
$15,000 in the hole.
No, I mean, I think it was a little bit less because you ended up getting that little bit of extra money.
That's maybe 12,000 in the hole, and I'm like, blows my mind.
But that's that personal one-on-one.
Let's put it this way,
when you get companies involved, it's like they just want to.
This lawyer, though, no offense, I don't think gave a fuck. Did not, and then he retired.
Yeah. The only good thing is, like I said, that, like you said, when you said, can you call a lawyer for free? So that law firm has been advising me through my whole workman's comp thing.
I don't know that,
but only on that because he's friends with my family doctor and smokes at that cigar lounge. So he's been advising me the whole time, you know. If you need this, he goes, call us. He goes, here's what they'll
I
do.
thought he retired.
No, this is the owner. This is the partner in the firm.
Okay.
So luckily, knock on wood, I've had a half a dozen conversations with him, and he's advised me through the whole thing for free. And he goes, at the end of the day, he goes, if there has to be a lawsuit, he goes, we'll get involved.
Yeah, I just don't necessarily think that's the case. I think the ultimate.
But they already made money off me.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I was going to say.
They made what, 30%?
Yeah. 30 or 40%.
Yeah, 30 or 40%.
Yeah.
I think it was 30%.
Right. Yeah. They can spare a dozen or 2 dozen consultations.
Yeah. It's a racket for sure. I remember when I was going through my divorce, we went through a paralegal because we weren't contesting it. And so it was supposed to be like, nothing. That was such a shit show. He figured that paralegal milked us for whatever he could in any possible way.
Yeah, don't get me started on the legal system. I will remain silent. I will remain silent until things are over.
But I just find it
when my shit's over, I'm writing anybody with 2 eyes a freaking letter, and I'm gonna raise holy fucking hell because the legal system. I have just learned to just kind of look at this legal system, and even with the house we're looking to buy, it's like, what the like. The law, the whole thing, family court is a joke. Family court, it should just be called money court because it doesn't focus on the family. Everybody, the lawyers, the judge, everybody makes money.
Who's doing family court now? What's his name? From Family Feud, is he doing
Steve Harvey?
Steve Harvey.
But it's all insurance. It's lawyers. It's the court system. I looked at years ago when I got my motorcycle accident. I had a towing coverage on my motorcycle, so I had to have my motorcycle towed from the scene down to the dealership, and my insurance company paid for the towing. It was free. It was $400 to tow a motorcycle. I called my insurance company. I go, this is outrageous that you paid this. And they're like, yeah, it was an accident tow. They cost more money. And I'm like, how are you allowing this? And they're like, it is what it is. They basically told me, you have the coverage. Don't worry about it. I go, you should be fighting this.
It's a contract.
This is wrong.
It's in the contract. Yeah.
It's wrong.
Nuts.
If I called the towing company myself, just say, hey, my bike broke down. I need towed to the dealership. It'd been like $125.
Now, I had never been in an ambulance before, but I've always heard horror stories, right? That like you go in an ambulance, that bill is it's pretty high. So obviously, when I got sick, I had to go in an ambulance to go up to another hospital. I will say my insurance covered a good chunk of it, but I still had to pay a good chunk of money.
Yeah, like you should have told me. I'd have drove her.
But that's just it. It's kind of but I was like, that costs more than some of the medicine that
ambulance rides because crazy. You gotta imagine the insurance those motherfuckers got to carry on that. And
it was uncomfortable. It hurt.
Well,
it wasn't even comfortable.
You also have to look at and maybe and it shouldn't be a thing, but it is a business. So you have to look at it like a business. How many people get free ambulance rides versus the ones that have to pay?
You have to. You have to look at it that way.
So we gave 30 people free rides.
Yep.
This chick she's got insurance.
Yep.
She's paying.
I
It's
paid.
100%.
I definitely paid.
It's definitely done that way. It's like anything else with with auto insurance. It's like your rates went up. Why? Well, we had a higher amount of claims this year.
Listen,
Not for me.
I just told Kevin today. It's 7 months. 7 months. I finally finished paying my very possible.
Yeah.
I might have one more medical bill I got to pay. Finally, after 7 months, I'm finally almost done paying.
Yeah.
My medical bills.
Yeah, I just want to apologize to everybody real quick when Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust raises their rates next year and Steve Saka cites the El Americano Act of 2022. Don't blame me. Do not blame me.
Kevin's just trying to take advantage of the system.
Everybody has to pay for those cigars that Kevin's getting for free.
I will be more than happy
Listen,
to
no
pay.
offense, Kevin. You take every moment to be a shit when I'm talking about something serious.
Kevin, I will be more than happy to pay 25 cents per cigar more for you. I'm here to
Americano
second.
Act 2022.
Listen,
Americana
how about the
Act.
Jess Act? Maybe help me out.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe though. I will say, I mean, hands down, I had very good insurance. I mean, I cannot complain about the insurance I had, but the fact that I still paid as much as I did still is mind blowing. Granted, I am very grateful that I didn't have to pay the full amount, as if I didn't have insurance. But the amount that it's 7 months later and I was still paying, and I was doing minimum because I had to divide it between 7 different payments of care that I had.
I got my bill from the hospital. It was like, hey, here's what your insurance paid. Oh yeah, we have this deductible. Here's what you owe. So I called the insurance company. I'm like, hey, a little comment here in your website that says Cigna's paying for COVID related cases.
Yeah.
Well, that's diagnostics. I said, no, actually the second bullet point. See, second bullet point specifically states that the doctor visit and treatments, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, yeah, well, that's the diagnosis. And it was, and then I realized my conversation with this individual it was circular because she just kept reading what was on her card.
Yeah.
Which is very common. So then as we started to, I went in, and there's this area where you can contest it and stuff. And then I went through all the other testings with, for the treadmill and shit. And I saw that bill. And I said, Jen, look at it. Here's the way it is. I met my deductible. If I wouldn't have gotten COVID, I would have to pay and meet my deductible with this bill here. So it really doesn't matter at this point in time because, it's like, is it, $4,000, from January or $4,000 in May, right? I mean, it's like it's all relative at this point. But I wanted to put up the fight but I realized that when you go against these insurance companies, I mean, it's whenever you look up, hey, how do I fill out a form to contest, my charge? And it's like every single freaking link is like, do you want to know how to fill out a Cigna form to fight your charges? Well, here, let me show you. And it's all from Cigna. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, I'm sure you're really going to direct me.
So they didn't have an HR representative when you went to the hospital when you had COVID. They didn't hook you up with a representative for that.
Who?
The hospital. You were diagnosed with COVID, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you had a hospital stay or just a visit?
I had 2 visits.
2 visits.
Yeah.
So, and they diagnosed you with COVID.
They diagnosed me my first visit with COVID.
Right.
Took my oxygen, everything. They said, you're fine.
Right.
Here's some medicine. See you later.
Right.
And a week later, not even a week later, I was back in the hospital with double pneumonia.
Right. So, for me, it was really weird because their representative was supposed to, I guess, while I was in the hospital, come visit me. That never happened.
No.
And then they never called me, and they still never called me. And so I wasn't sure, what all this was going to amount to. And so, of course, you dive into the internet and you start looking at, what other people have been paying for COVID treatments and blah, 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 blah. And it's such a shit show from like nothing to everything, you know?
Yeah, there is
And
no in between.
Right. And so, but
all over the
some
place.
funding was given to certain, I guess, hospital, or depending on, I guess, whatever COVID program was being run at the hospital.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people's bills were being wiped away, whatever, blah, 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 blah,
Well,
blah.
the hospital gets that funding too. And it was
Right.
just,
But it wasn't for certain things, right? So you're still obligated to pay certain, like people who had no insurance.
I think a lot of money goes to uninsured people. And
Right.
honestly, I mean, in full disclosure, I think if I show up at a hospital and someone next to me shows up and they don't have insurance and I do, I fully expect that hospital with their funding to make sure that that person's taken care of versus me.
Yeah.
Even for whatever reason, why they don't have insurance. I mean, I
Right.
don't care if it's because they can't afford it or because they're negligent, whatever the case may be. I get it.
Right.
That's life. But I also
But this
believe
whole COVID thing was so weird on how, like, what they bill you on, what they don't, what was covered, what wasn't from hospital, from doctor. I don't think they even knew. Right?
No,
like,
they don't.
That's why I had to constantly, like today, I had to call instead of doing it online. I was like, I just want to make sure. Like, is this the amount? Like, I don't know anymore. Like,
and then you get
because a lot of times on the bill,
5 different places,
right? And then the bill pay sometimes doesn't show you any itemized anything. So you're like, wait, this bill that you sent me doesn't seem accurate to the one before because now I know how much I paid, but yet now it's not matching. So it gets very confusing.
Well, what's even more confusing is I'll see in my insurance website, like, you owe $50 to this doctor,
right?
And then I'll get a bill from the doctor. You owe me $50. Both places have pay here.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah,
you know, and I'm like, okay, like you said, if you have someone who doesn't have a little bit of common sense, someone may end up paying both. And that's where people double pay and even sometimes triple pay, because if I go on Bon Secours website and I look at my open bills, the $50 bill's in there as well.
Right. And this is crazy because Wyatt, obviously, you know, he has Down syndrome. He's on Medicaid. I have not had to pay for a prescription on a few occasions that I have. Lately, I've been having to pay like $12, $20. And I'm like, wait, when did this change? And so I have to bring his insurance card yet again to the same pharmacy he's been going to for 5 years now to have them re-put it in because something's askew.
I think.
Hold on a second. And then he has takes thyroid medication, and so we went to LabCorp. Normally we go to the hospital to do the blood draw, but this time I decided, hey, I'm going to go down the road. LabCorp does it, takes his insurance, whatever. I somehow now have a bill for $3.21.
Well,
I had to call them today and say, listen, before I pay this, is this an actual bill? Because it's saying a bill, like I owe $3.21. Oh no, the insurance paid for it. So then why did you send me a bill?
Because I think the majority of the time, like, Kerr has a bill for $50 here, $50 here. Most people, me, I'd have just paid both. Like, whatever, it's $50, $100. Who cares? Just pay it. I don't want to make a phone call. It's too much of a hassle. $3, whatever. I'll just pay.
I was gonna pay it, but
I know.
I tried to do it online.
That stuff adds up when you start getting $50 here and there, and you're like $300 in it. You're like, motherfucker.
Listen, I'm okay calling because especially for someone like for me with my insurance, yes, I understood. Like, I definitely probably would have paid it, but with Wyatt's, it doesn't make sense. So of course I called because I did try to pay it online because I'm like, I am not going to collections for $3.21, right? Like, that's not happening. And I couldn't pay it online, so I called and they were like, "Oh no, your insurance his insurance covered it." But it always should have. I should have never seen any of that. And but this keeps happening. And no, it's Medicaid right now. Medicaid is insane. I get letters from them 1 minute saying his SSI is this. Then the next day I get 2 days later I get a letter saying his SSI is gone.
Yeah.
Did he just all of a sudden not have Down syndrome anymore?
Yeah,
he all of a sudden stopped having any medical issues.
Jen dealt with that when Joseph was sick.
It's crazy to me.
His benefits were all over the place because when he got sick, she had her hours were reduced at work, and then with his sickness, he was eligible for SSI.
Yeah, of course,
Medicaid, and it was like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, what you're no longer working 25 hours, you're working 30 hours a week. Okay, well
now we
now
cut this. Yeah.
now you're off, and it's like, okay, so all that great medical care I was getting for my son with leukemia is now gone because I'm all of a sudden making an extra $700 a week.
Yep. Listen, when I became a store manager, I was making maybe $200 more than I originally was. That made me rich, apparently. And they decided to, the kid's SSI gets cut off. And I was like, well, listen, I'm still a single mom. Like, how does that make sense? Like, how am I supposed to afford to do this for him? I mean, his medication at one point, because then they were going to take his insurance away, was like $200. I'm like, no, and he can't have generic because he's allergic to it. So he had to have name brand. It's a shit show. It's a constant battle.
It's just like with my knee. So the doctor cleared me to go back to work for light duty, but I can't bend my knee to drive.
Right.
So I can't get in a car to go to work. So workers' comp says, oh, hey, you can do light duty. You're no longer fully disabled. Now you're partially disabled.
Yeah.
We're going to take $35 a week out of you. I'm like, but I can't get to work and work's not going to pay to pick me up.
Right.
Well, it's not our problem.
Yeah,
you're no longer fully disabled. So now you get like $35 less a week.
But
I'm
the
like,
sad thing is, it's not like you're not paying for it, right? Like you paid for this, just like I pay for the things. So it's kind of like a huge slap in the face for when people who don't pay get this amazing care and everything their hearts desire.
Listen, I'm 52 years old. I have literally used my insurance and with various companies, and that's why Chris Rock, says it's called in case shit happens, right?
Yeah. Right. In case shit happens.
I've probably used my insurance, since I've been working, maybe maybe a dozen times. I mean, a couple.
Yeah, I will say.
I probably used my insurance more in the last couple of years than I have. So I look at them like I paid a lot of fucking money over the years.
Just it. My sick time, the fact that I was able to take 4 months off of work just off of my sick time should speak volumes. That I got paid.
Nobody makes money off me. I use all my sick time, personal time, vacation time. I use every single dime of my insurance that I pay for. I visit my dermatologist, my dentist, my family doctor, whatever. Nobody makes a dime off Kevin.
My dad, my dad basically would, and my sister's like, you know how much sick time I'm gonna have? I'm like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Well, hence why I got so sick, and then I paid for it technically, but it was insane that I had that much sick time that could pay me before I even had to go on short-term disability. Like, think about that. 4 months of pay before I even had to get short-term disability. That's fucking ridiculous.
Jen's back surgery was like that. Before she got her disability check, she was back at work. She got her disability check the day she went back to work.
I know.
My dad would talk about taxes because he was a blue-collar worker, and he was a union steward for a few years, and he worked in a union, and they used to always give their donations to the Democratic nominee whenever it came to presidents. And my dad would always get pissed off about it. He's like, listen, not everybody in the union is not a Democrat,
right?
And he used to get in arguments, and he says, well, Tony, you know what the Democrats have done for the working man. My dad said, well, I know what Bill Clinton did for me. I didn't know I was rich until he became president because my taxes went up. And he told everybody, I'm going to tax the rich. Apparently, I was unaware of my richness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
It's just everything. Doctors,
it is.
Insurance.
It's crazy.
Everybody's making money.
Lawyers, guns, and money. Wow, there's a new feature here. You can do background music.
Yeah, I haven't played around here. Can you hit the button? See, and I think you can control the volume as well, can't you? Oh yeah, there you go.
That's annoying.
Yeah, did you notice you get a countdown timer now when you have your play your videos? If you're watching the screen, you can see the blue line, but over on the right it'll actually give you a countdown.
I didn't see the countdown. I saw the blue line.
Oh yeah. If you actually look on the video, you click that the countdown is on the actual video.
I'm wondering if you can upload anything. No, not right now.
No, because I think it's all they make sure it's royalty free.
Oh, that's crazy.
So I do want to tell you. So Kerr, our dog Sky that we got, she's been going to the vet on and off, and she has like an issue where she was
he picks the sad music.
I know.
Our dog, and he's like, all right, let's get the sad music.
She was fixed probably too soon is what they think, so she kind of has a little leakage coming out of her bladder. So she was on this medication and it worked and she seemed fine. So then they wanted us to take her off of it for 30 days to see if she would, be fine or have to go back on the medicine. Well, she definitely has to go back on the medicine. So it's $53 through the vet. So Kevin's looking online for like over the counter, like a generic brand of it. So we find it through, what is it, Chewy?
Yeah. The vet gives us a little tiny, like a real per human prescription bottle. Chewy has the same thing in a giant
bottle,
top.
Right? So we have to get a prescription from the vet. So I call anyway because she's due for a rabies shot and she needs her nails trimmed. So I called to make an appointment anyway, and then I'm trying to talk to the receptionist about this medicine, right? And what I have to do to get the prescription and stuff. And she's like, kept calling the dog a him after I corrected her 3 times. I'm like, well, it's she. Like, she is on this medication. And then she's like, I'm really busy. Like, I'm really busy. Can you hold on for a second? And then she'd get back on and she'd be like, well, I don't understand what you want. You want us to fill this? I'm like, no, ma'am. I'm trying to say to you that I need a prescription written because we found it for a lesser amount through, Chewy or whatever, pet supermarket or whatever I said to her. And like, she was like, well, I can't do this right now. I'm very, very busy. And like, she was just it almost made me want to be like, I don't ever want to go here. Like, your customer service towards me, and like she kept interrupting, and then she kept like putting me on hold for like it was crazy. So at the end of the day, I'm supposed to go pick up a prescription tomorrow, but I have a feeling she had it filled. Like, I don't think she heard
it sounds like my
me.
Conversation with Jen during the day.
So $53
interrupts me,
and
puts me on hold.
$24.
And the vet is buying that by the 5-gallon bucket.
So
full.
she said to me, though, the receptionist did say, she goes, well, normally when you go through like pet supermarket or whatever, they do send it to the vet. And I'm like, why would I do that? Why would I have to pay $53 to come pick it up from you when freaking Chewy's going to mail it to me for free for $4?
Yeah,
we get the same amount.
We get the cat's food because it's like some sort of special food for.
Of course it is.
Asshole cats.
Because it's a cat. It's a fucking cat.
Listen, our dog is no cheap.
Our dog will eat garbage.
Yeah, no, this cat
garbage and grass.
Yeah, that's
it's like cats. It's like freaking because of her, her bladder issues, which really only ever affect male cats because of the longer urethra. But apparently this cat just decides, I think it's because she's so fucking fat, it probably extended her urethra, the motherfucker. Has to eat this special food that freaking helps keep breaks up the crystals in her freaking, in her bladder and shit. Okay. And it's like, you know what? I just can't have a cat that'll eat regular dry cat food that I can pick up at freaking Dollar General. Yeah. I gotta go. And so we get ours through Chewy. I think it's through Chewy. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than going to the vet but every once in a while when they're out, then Jen's like, I got to go to fucking vet. I got to go pay for it because it's like almost double the amount. It's a ridiculous amount of money.
And then when the cat swipes at you, you want to kick it. Like, I'm keeping you alive, motherfucker.
The cat doesn't even come near me. That's the thing. Yeah. I'm like, you know what, you little shithead? I've fought. Even I freaking paid. I have carried your freaking thought to be half dead ass to the freaking vet. I have gotten food. I freaking get your snacks. I give them to you, and you don't even let me pet you. She just acts like I freaking beat her.
Yeah. Well,
and she's been that way ever since she got fixed. Aww. And I picked her up from the freaking vet and brought her home. Hated me ever since.
Yeah. I mean, fortunately for us, Sky is worth it because she's the sweetest thing. But we definitely don't want her peeing by uncontrollable
No.
like bladder issues.
No.
And what's so weird is what happened was, it leaks out little by little, and then it irritates her, and then she licks, and then she gets like it just comes out. Like she has no control. Yeah. It's like it's not contracting. So with this medicine, it was like totally fixed it. We thought, oh, maybe she just needed to get her muscles stronger. No, she needs it forever.
She do her doggy kegels.
Yeah,
so,
no shit.
Right. So on that note,
doggy kegels. How can you got to end on doggy kegels?
That's it. On that note, I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jess.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerr. And remember,
bullies make good friends.
From Kev, Jess, Kerr, and Jen, we are the Broadleaf Bullies. Thank you for joining us, and remember, bullies make good friends.